Hiya folks, JD here, and today I wanted to just go over the app that you use to control the JJRC X7P. So there's lots I've got to say on this, and I think for the second I'll start off with the very basic, and that is right at this screen here where it says enjoy fly, enjoy life, please take off in a spacious outdoor space. And then you have interface view underneath it. In the top right you have a couple of squares all piled together. That is a quick access way into your manual. And then down the bottom it tells you the version. This is version 1.3.5. Now my main issue with this is when you follow the instructions and you set the quadcopter up, you're meant to have a little square in the center of the screen that says bind when it detects that there's a new connection. You click bind and then you're ready to get set up. The problem that I've got with my quadcopter is every single time I get to this screen I have to wait for that bind, for that little square that comes up that says bind. Now once it is up you can click bind and that's it. The only way I can find to get it to come up is if I turn the transmitter on first, then the quadcopter, then attach my phone to the quadcopter's SSID, so I'm attached to the quadcopter's Wi-Fi that it's outputting. And once I've done that, then once I open the app here, I get a little box that says bind. Now once you click that, it should send you into the interface view. Now this is where it comes up and it says that you should enjoy fly and unconnected. So usually that says, when it says unconnected, that says ready to fly, usually. Now with that, once you are ready to fly, you should have a picture which occupies 3/4 of the screen, where all that black square or all that black rectangle is, and then you should then be able to go through and you should have no problem in flying, taking off and just generally controlling it. The problem I have with this is even when I click the 3 dots in the top right and I go down to RC paired and I try and pair it, right, it still gives me issues. Now I couldn't find in the manual where the information for the last 6 characters of the remote control were. What it actually means is it's after the last 6 characters, or that's on the SSID, when you are trying to connect this particular smartphone or your smartphone to your quadcopter. So it'll say something like, mine says drone underscore, and then it'll be 978478, something like that. It's those 4 numbers, or those 6 numbers rather, you've got to put into that box. When you're ready, click pair, and then once you've clicked pair, it should set itself up. But I say should. I've been at this on all 6 flights I've done of this quad. I've been out there for a minimum of 15 minutes getting everything to pair. It is an absolute nightmare. Now coming back to the app, this app needs loads of work. To begin with, look at the map. That's not where I live. That's not even a road that's even close to me. So that is approximately 5 to 6 miles away from my current location. So it doesn't even use GPS properly to actually find your proper location. So if we go back to the top left where it says enjoy fly unconnected, let's work our way across the bar, then we'll go down the right hand side of the screen, across the bottom and back up the left. You know, the usual way that we look at these apps. First thing you come across is NA. Now usually you click NA and it gives you 4 options. It'll give you altitude mode, position mode, it'll give you follow me mode, and it'll give you waypoints. Now the position mode is when you can fly around. The altitude mode is when you can fly around. The position mode is when it locks itself in position, and it's more of a headless mode, and therefore any way you turn the quadcopter you've got to keep on altering your course setting in order to have the quadcopter to move properly. If you don't, it's going to go off in some really crazy angle. Next to that you have your GPS satellite. As you can see, because I'm not connected, mine says 0. Then you've got NA, that's your battery meter as well there of your quadcopter. So at 100% is when it's full. 10% is when you'll get a notification from this app to say your quadcopter should come home because you are very low voltage. The 3 dots, we saw that a little while ago. It's where you can turn on and turn off beginner mode. If you're flying via Wi-Fi, you can have virtual joysticks on the right hand side or left. That it refers to your throttle as well, mind. So I prefer throttle on the left hand side, so you can go with that. Voltage of your quadcopter, sensor calibration. This is where you calibrate your the compass, and gyro. Now sometimes I've connected I've paired everything together and this calibration hasn't worked, in which case you've got to turn everything off and recalibrate it again. RC paired, we've been through that, and the firmware version, if you click view, it should give you the firmware version. Now I've got a screenshot I've taken of this, which I'm going to be showing you in my final thoughts video in a couple of days, that shows you my current version of my app, my quadcopter, everything, so you can see what issues I'm having. But as I say, I'm going to go into that in a bit more depth in a couple of days. But that's handy to have that, and then when you're connected you have 4 other options underneath the firmware version there, which don't show up until you're connected. You can see that in my original videos. And then we've got, coming down, you've got this little down arrow, which once you click it turns into an up arrow. That's for your gimbal. And then the next one then, that just hides your little buttons on the side there. Now it says SDNA, obviously it's not applicable because the SD card is not plugged into the quadcopter, because the quadcopter is not attached to this phone. Then as you come down, you've got three little icons on the right hand side. First one's take video, second one's take photos, third one is then go in and find those photos and find those videos. Across the bottom you have your speed, your vertical speed, your horizontal speed, your height and your distance. So always important to keep an eye on that. I find because that is green, if you're flying over grass like I was, that's a nightmare to see. That's why whenever you hear me saying my speed is, or my distance is, or my height is at, and I always pause when I'm looking at using this app because I can't see the green on the green of the grass. It doesn't make it very easy. Then you have your map, that's how you access your waypoints. Then you have your return to home, you have your automatic takeoff, and you have your phone there as well, which, oh there we go, you can't use gravity mode. So that is, instead of you using the up and down there and the movement of your analog sticks, you can just click that button and you can use your accelerometer to move the quad forward, back, left and right. I would advise anybody to not use that, because I don't think that's a very safe way of flying at all. So that is just a quick look at the app. Now there is one other thing you're going to notice when I fly the app to this disconnected mode. Where it says NA at the top, next to that should be a little box, or 2 boxes on top of each other. You should click that and it should give you a few more options in there. Now those options are turn your SD, your standard definition recording into HD. You can also use the camera underneath looking through the optical flow sensor. You can also switch your view from 16:9 to 4:3. It gives you quite a few other options. To be fair, they're not great, but it does work. And switching the camera to optical flow sometimes is great, but you're going from a 1080p output, you're going then to a VGA output, so it's not going to look great. But there we go, that's the app at this particular current version. It's not great, it needs a lot of work. If you're using the app and if you are hoping it's going to reopen once you go into multitasking on iOS, it does not reopen, mine just crashes. So then I have to close it in multitasking and then reopen it, and then it'll open without any issue. Alright folks, let me know exactly how you've got on with your app, if you've ever used this app before. I hope you've got better experience than I have, but so far the people I've spoken to about this and about the quadcopter are having pretty much the same experience that I am. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, my friends. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.